welcome everyone to this week's Season 1 Race 3. We are at Spa-Francorchamps in the hills of Belgium. My name is Adam. I thank you all for being here. And once again, we are back again, Race 3 of our PC League here at Green Hell Racing. And if you're curious as to what Green Hell Racing is, just hit exclamation point GHR in the chat, and that will give you the details on where to find us on Discord. But as we watch our drivers in the opening 5-minute practice session, no one having yet set any times. So again, run down that order real quick. So far, 2 races so far this season, one at Donington Park, one at Zandvoort for our PC League racers. And taking a look at our top 10, Zorax, Leo Leonardo sitting in his McLaren in number 1 with 100 points, having won both of those races. Mr. Humphrey Wanglesnatcher in his Ferrari 488, sitting in number 2. Jack Rive in his Aston Martin AMR V8 Vantage, 74 points in 3rd. Daniel Aaron, Dan Double Alpha BMW, currently sitting in 4th. Mr. Caleb Stevens, Red Rider in his Hurricane, I apologize, Lamborghini, sitting in 5th. Adam Thomas, Broken Clutch Motorsports in the AMR Vantage V12, sitting number 6. Amar Camelord in his Lamborghini in 7th. Will Greeny in 8th, driving a Ferrari. Lucas Rosespal, the only Bentley in our top 10 currently, sitting number 9, with Kevin Huffmanic in the Lexus RCF GT3 coming in at number 10. As we see our drivers start to come into the pits for the end of the practice session. A quick 5 minutes just to allow them to get used to track conditions. With qualification starting here in just about a minute, we will have a 15-minute qual, followed by 70 minutes of endurance racing today at Spa.
Green light, go, go, go.
As our drivers start heading back out to qualify now. Now what gets interesting is I do not see, the man who won the last 2 races, Zorax, I do not currently see him on track. We have 18 drivers today though. But Zorax is not one of them. So this is obviously an opportunity for one of the guys sitting in 2nd or 3rd to really, that have done well. If we look down through, Will Green at Donington came in 2nd behind Zorax. Did not place last week, so obviously his points totals are down. But Lucas last week was 2nd at Zandvoort. And again, same thing, did not race the first week. Both of them sitting in 8th and 9th and tied at 45 points apiece. But if we look at Wanglesnatcher, J. Rive, Dan Double Alpha, Daniel Aaron, all 3 of them today potentially have the opportunity to jump to the top of the leaderboard of the standings simply due to a points total if they can pull out a win today. And there's Dan Double Alpha now in that BMW. And not enjoying Spa so far today. Mr. Wanglesnatcher, Humphrey. A quick look during qual at the map. That is Spa. It is long. It is windy through the hills of Belgium. And our drivers get to run around it for 70 minutes today. I think some of our pro drivers here setting times in the 218s all the way back for AM class drivers, more than likely back into the 222s to 223s. Again, is qualifying and greeting people on Discord at the same time. I call foul. Listen, Max, there's no accounting for it. Pizza Man Pete, who, as you know, is in our Xbox League, will respond to people in chat on Twitch the same time he's racing. I can't figure out how he does it. The one time I tried it, it didn't work out well. So currently no lap time set from anyone, with just over 12 minutes left in qualification today. There goes Juan Antonio Franzi up the Kemmel Straight, looking to set a flying lap, hopefully. Again, with no time set to this point. Mr. Red Rider, Caleb Stevens. Currently our 5th place driver in the standings. And Red Rider's ping times, along with our Cilliers, playing a bit of havoc today as we watch him slide around the carousel. How he keeps the nose of that car pointed outward while going around a corner is beyond me. And there we see Brian Crow himself on track today. Someone we usually don't see joining us. Broken Clutch Motorsports clearing the way for him. As we continue to wait for someone to start setting laps. And there it is. Wangle Snatcher has set our first time of today of a 2:19.6 with just over 10 minutes now left in qualification. However, it was not to last, as we knew it wouldn't be. Blaine Hall now sitting in pole with a 2:18.7. Mr. Will Green with a 2:19.5, beating out Wangle Snatcher by just a little bit. Just over, or I should say just under a tenth of a second. We will start bringing times up, and there you see it, folks. Blaine Hall able to take purple sector 2 and 3, with Will holding on to sector 1 thus far as times start clocking in. And Will Greeny already into the pits to make adjustments, see if he can tighten up into that 2:18 range and give Blaine a run for his money. Kevin Huffman now having set a time of a 2:21.8. Now, one thing I like to remind folks of every week is currently in our PC league, Pro and AM class drivers run together. It is a single championship. The delineations will be coming later, but at this time, you have drivers of all different skills running together in a single race. So we expect those times to be quite wide, right? You're not going to have the Blaines all the way down through the paddock. That's not going to happen. So we watch Huffman come down the hill in his Green Hell Racing livery. And there it is again, getting beaten. Crow. Brian Knappen. Now with a 2:18.5, edging out Blaine Hall by 0.279 seconds. How big is the track? Spa is what, max 7 point something kilometers? I don't have it in front of me. I don't have, yeah, 7.004 kilometers, so. What's up, D2? How you doing? Juan Castro now out front with a 2:18.4 as we watch that pole position keep getting knocked back a little further with just over 6 minutes left in qualification today, but still very tight up front. Our top three all within 0.3 of a second of each other. And Will Greeny only 1 second off pace at this point. No times yet from BB Stewart, Red Rider, Camel Lord, Broken Clutch Motorsports, or G. Glazowski. Georgie. Glazowski. There we go. And still we have Juan Antonio Franzi and Jamie Franzi both out on track. Two Franzis. Wasn't there an episode of Happy Days that had two Franzis? Fonzies. Sorry, I was thinking of something different. And with just under 5 minutes left to go, let's take a look at our standings thus far as we wait for qualification to run down. Again, Brian Canapin. I'm probably saying his name wrong. I'll just call him Crow. I apologize. In the Lamborghini Huracan, holding one purple sector to Castro's 2, but still able to hold on now with a 2:17.7, knocking that time down even further. But Castro again right behind him with just a 2:17.9, and now Will Greeny taking sector 3 as purple with a 2:18.7. So as I said, you know, our top 4 right now all within a second of each other. Certainly going to be very tight up front, and everybody knows Spa, and everybody knows what happens after you come out of La Source. Head down the hill into Eau Rouge and Radion. So let's hope all the drivers today, with 70 minutes of racing, understand that it will not be won and lost in lap 1, T1. Certainly, you know, both of our leagues, whether Xbox or PC, certainly had their share of issues from time to time. Incidents do occur, but the goal is always to keep the racing as clean as possible. As we go on board with Crow, we will see if he's going to run one more lap for us. And he is not. Cillier's currently sitting in 8th position. And Crow now back out on track. Just under 2 minutes left, folks, but as we know, things can very quickly change in qualifying right at the end. But currently holding with Crow, Brian Canopin up front with a 2:17.7, followed by Jay Castro with a 2:17.9, and Greeny setting our first 2:18 pace. BB Stewart and Camelord, the two to not yet set qualifying times today. And we will see if that changes here in the last few moments. Crow deciding it's a good time to mow the grass before heading back to the pits. Juan Macastro currently sitting in second. Broken Clutch Motorsports now back in the pits, but able to at least set a time. They were one of our late time setters, currently sitting in 10th. So good to see that they have been able to pull that out. Red Rider setting a time currently in 15th with a 2:22.7. And that is it. Qualifying is over. As we wait for the session to run down, drivers will start heading into the pits, getting ready to set for the race. And it looks like it's at least going to stay dry for our 18 drivers today. There was threat of rain in Belgium today, and again, in an attempt to use real-world weather, it was going to rain on track as well. So we sit and take a look at the times before the race starts. There is your starting grid as of now. Could be a few changes as I watch a couple drivers still running out hard and with times ahead of where they were before. Wangle Snatcher being one of them. And is now off and in the dirt. Camel Lord, the only one right now, along with Dan Double O Alpha, though. Dan currently sitting up 1.4 on his previous best. Getting himself up into 14th. Camelord currently running even on his last time. And I don't see us having any more changes. So there it is, folks. There is your starting grid for today's 70 minutes at Spa. Crow leading the way. Will Greeny in row 1 with him. Jay Castro and B. Hall in row 2. Franzi and Wangle Snatcher row 3. Kevin Yu and Jay Franzi. Another Franzi. Lots of Franzis. In row 4. Camelord and Cilliers will break up row 5. Row 6, Broken Clutch Motorsports and Glazowski. Row 7, Manilak and Dan Double O Alpha, Dan Aaron. BB Stewart and Kay Huffman bringing up row 8 with Jay Melidi and Caleb Red Rider in row 9. A full paddock today of 18 drivers as we get ready for racing to start. So again, with no Zorax on track today, certainly anyone's race. Now Crow, one of our faster alien-style racers, but certainly not alone up there with Green and Castro both within that 0.2 of a second, and Mr. Brian Hall as well. Blaine Hall sitting only 0.4 back. So really our top 6 all within that 1 second pace of each other during qual. Certainly should make for interesting racing. Not only in lap 1, but throughout the entire session. we go, ready to start today's race. Looks like we will be getting a full formation lap today. So a nice slow track around to start our race. That's not good because it tells me the race is 10 minutes long. That's not good. We will see how that works out. So wait for our countdown. There will be a full formation lap for today's race. And yes, Max, it's a 10-minute endurance race. If you can make it around Spa 5 times in 10 minutes, you win. That would require our top drivers here today to cut over 18 seconds off per lap, so I don't see that happening, but you never know. And again, this could be my software telling me it's a 10-minute race. We will have to wait and see what actually happens, but that's what I'm showing. And it's been accurate so far. That's why. It's an hour and 10 minutes. Okay. If we look there in the corner. That's why. It's a very strange way for the software to run, but that's okay. And as we watch today's formation lap, folks, don't forget, full 70 minutes. This will happen again twice tomorrow. Please come back and join us for our Xbox League's Spa Endurance Race, Pro and Am Class races. I am unsure who I will be joined by tomorrow, as I believe my usual partners of Mr. Chief Blaze, I know he's busy, and Red Rider may be as well. And Dan Double O Alpha, not sure if he will be able to make a full 70-minute race or not, given that he runs our F1 league. We will see what happens, but until then, we are PC racing. Brian Canavan, Crow, leading the pack, along with Will Greeny in row 1 again. Jay Castro and B. Hall in row 2. Juan Ma Castro, along with Mr. Blaine Hall in the McLaren. Jamie Franzi sitting in number 5 with Wrangle Snatcher in row 3. And if we jump back, Juan Antonio Franzi currently sitting in 8th. So 2 Franzis. Again, I don't know why. They are new to me this week. Why is Red last? I had money on him. I don't know, because it looked to me like Red qualled and had a time set of a 2:22, which would not have put him at the back of the pack, but you never added my livery. I'm pretty sure I did, Altruit. That could mean that it did not work. That could very well mean that it did not work. So after today's race, I will go back and review and make sure I put the files where I needed to. As long as the file structure is correct and the files they're named properly, they should work fine. I know I dropped them in if you sent them to me, so I apologize that it's not there today. But hopefully we can get that fixed up for you. focus back on position 6, Humphrey Wangle Snatcher. And the number 71 Ferrari. We will keep our pulled back view for the start of today's race. Catching any and all action possible. Going down the hill into Eau Rouge. Again, Cillier's ping time struggling. Hopefully something he's able to get under control here and doesn't interfere with his racing today. As my contractors go back to it just in time for the start of today's race. And as we come through the bus stop, heading up towards La Source, we'll get ready to send the guys down the hill. And here we go, folks. Ready for a green light. Drivers line up in double file.
Green light, go, go, go.
And we are green. Let's go racing down the hill. And keeping it clean through Eau Rouge. Can't get better than that as Mr. Brian Canopin pulls out in front very quickly. Greeny and Castro chasing him down, however, as we go. A big group coming in now. Off the end of the Camel Straight with Dan a little sliding into the grass, having to cut the corner, but keeping it clean down through. And Camel Lord already dropped into the pits. Castro now looking to play the inside on Will Greeny. And able to take it. Getting himself back up into second with Franzi, Hall, and Yu close behind. Oy vey. There we go. Franzi now on the rear end of Greeny. We come into the fast left-hander, headed up on the bus stop. Green going a little deep into the first half, but able to hold on for now. Take a jump back. Wangle Snatcher losing position to Franzi and Cilliers. All of our drivers still jockeying for position, coming up through around the source one more time as Brian heads downhill into Eau Rouge. Castro hot on his tails. Greeny with a little bit of a warble, allowing Franzi to get by. Jamie Franzi not quite able to hold it tight up through Radion. As we jump back up front with Castro now right on the back end of Brian's Lamborghini. Wangle Snatcher now sitting back in 9th after giving up a good number of positions up front. We'll see if he can get those back. Kevin Yu now running in 5th as we head back downhill. Camelord back out on track. I'm unsure as to why he dove into the pits immediately after start. I saw no incidents, so we'll have to find out what happened there. We take a look now at Blaine Hall, Franzi, Wangle Snatcher, Broken Clutch, all right there, waiting to make a jump. And Franzi's making the play up into the bus stop now. Taking it well before the chicane, having to go way wide. Able to hold the position, however, and get around Blaine. Get himself up into number 7 with Wangle Snatcher and Broken Clutch right there, ready to capitalize as well. If Franzi can hold it up through La Source. Everyone able to hold it nice up the hill into the Kemmel Straight now. So we take a look back up front. Castro still remaining to stick right to the bumper of Crow, Brian Canopin. Not an ounce of breathing room between them, folks. Again, Crow, one of our faster alien drivers, showing that he is not, Castro showing him he is not the only one in green hell to be able to drive fast. Crow with just, it looked like maybe just a bit of slip through the bus stop. Kind of thing that Castro is looking to capitalize on here. Castro with the speed. Up, out, and across the Kemmel Straight as we go side by side. A little door rubbing. Down through the corner with no name, and Brian able to hold onto it just barely. And we are only 8 minutes in, folks. It's going to be fun. Take a quick jump back as Will Green under attack by Kevin Yu right now. Castro not giving up at this point. Heading into the bus stop again. Looking for an opportunity in the chicane. Again, side by side as we cross start finish one more time. Brian with just a little more exit speed coming out of there, heading back into La Source. Castro able to get inside, but Franzi now in third, looking to capitalize off this battle as we watch all three head down the hill back into Eau Rouge. Jamie Franzi looking to catch up very quickly. These two had a 2 to 3 second lead when this battle started, and you can see what the battling does to your lap times as you try and play defense. Now all three of them hard up the Kemmel Straight. Castro again swinging outside, looking to make the play. Deja vu, folks. It's a glitch in the matrix, but this time Castro able to capitalize early. A little bit of a nudge from Crow. Able to hold on to it, however. At this point, we got to say, after watching it twice in a row, Castro really able to capitalize, coming out of Radion with maximum speed up through the Kemmel Straight. As we saw him make that play 2 laps in a row, almost identical. And now securely holding the lead. Crow still right there, but also has to play defense against Franzi right behind him. And our top three is very interesting. Right behind those guys, though, however, Will Greeny still under attack by Kevin Yu. But our top three now all running within a second of each other. Castro now able to pull away a bit, but Franzi sticking to the back of Crow. Again, pulling out more speed. Not quite enough on that short straight out of the bus stop to La Source, but we'll see if Franzi's able to make the same play. Now, if Castro can obviously maintain that speed going up through Radion onto the straight, he's only going to extend this lead, which right now is open to 1.3 seconds. And Brian Canopin again finding himself under attack up the Kemmel Straight 3 laps in a row, and again Franzi looking for that same move Castro used. Coming down into it and gets a nudge, cut in a little bit on Crow. That one will need to be reviewed. And now having to sit as the rest of the field catches up, unable to get himself set again very quickly. Franzi pushing a little hard. And again, this is an incident that will need reviewed. He did turn in on him just a tad. Will Green still under attack by Kevin Yu, and now has Franzi behind him. The other Franzi. Juan Antonio Franzi behind him. Castro's lead now unable to tell due to the timing issues in ACC. But we will let you know here in just a minute. But he has opened it up quite a bit. Malcolm, I can tell you that Huff Manic is. Crow does as well. QROW. You might be able to find him. I don't know who else today would be streaming. I do know Huff Manic is, however. We can actually take a quick jump over there. And there is Huff. Currently running in 12th. Yeah, sorry. Brian Canopin is Crow. Currently our second place driver. Taking a quick look now, Castro has opened up on Mr. Canopin by 2.8 seconds with Will Green now 6 back and having to play. This is our new battle. Kevin Yu still holding tight with Franzi and Cilliers all right there. Trying to maintain as close as possible as we go around one more time. Again, thank you to everyone for joining me today. You're here for Green Hell Racing's Season 1, Race 3 at Spa, 70 minutes. Now with 55 minutes left to drive. Yeah, Malcolm, I encourage you, if you enjoy this type of stuff, absolutely follow those guys. Crow races outside the league, I believe with SRO, if I'm not mistaken. And Huff as well races in other leagues. You can catch them online. Another one to search for is, he's not here today. He's an Xbox racer. You'll be able to watch him tomorrow. That's Pizza Man Pete 11, as well as Chief Blaze 503, Dan 00 Alpha. All those guys stream and race quite a bit more than just on Saturdays here with us. Will Greeny again leading that pack. Trying to stretch out over Kevin Yu. Thank you, Max. I was just getting ready to do that. You are an officer and a gentleman. I appreciate it. Malcolm, if you head there and join our Discord, I don't know if you are a racer, but if you join our Discord, the guys typically will post there when they are live streaming their races. And Franzi, way off track. Not having a good day, bouncing the wall several times before able to get back on, and now having lost a lot of places, including to his brother? I'm not sure. But that did spread things out quite a bit. I am seeing all. We jump back here. Glazovsky now. Only half a second off of Red Rider's pace. Towards the back of the pack, Red Rider currently running in 14th. Given he's sitting in the standings in 5th, it's a bit disappointing to see, but he has been going back and forth between PC and Xbox, which is not easy to do. He still loves running Xbox with us, but got a PC and couldn't pass it up, and I can't say I blame him. And in all honesty, I wouldn't blame him if he decided that Xbox was done. And Melity, in number 13, blasting across the track. Looking for the pits now. Car is not in good shape at all. Obviously an incident there, which will allow Red Rider to move back up towards 13th. So we jump in now. Franzi applying pressure to Wangle Snatcher. We head back down the hill one more time. Jamie Franzi applying the pressure to Wangle Snatcher with Juan Antonio right behind him. Looking to play catch up. Kevin Yu now feeling pressure from Cilliers. Wangle Snatcher doing his best to hold both Franzis at bay. As Franzi makes the pass on the inside through the chicane. Very easily on Wangle Snatcher, able to take that position. Looks like Humphrey tried to come out with a little more speed and is at least keeping it close, but Franzi made the pass very easily through the first half of that bus stop. Both drivers holding tight up the hill into the Kemmel Straight. I think the best part of this is if Wangle Snatcher doesn't realize what's going on, he's going to think he got passed by the same person twice somehow. I know it confuses me from time to time. As we jump back up, Cilliers still applying pressure to Kevin Yu. And Franzi now pushing his way back up after the incident earlier at the end of the Kemmel Straight, trying to work his way back to the front of this pack. Was holding pace with Crow, Brian Kapanen, very well until that incident and getting spun. Everyone tightens up into the bus stop. Yu trying to hold both of them off at this point. And Franzi going around the outside of Cilliers. Unable to hold on to it, however. We've seen this script before. Cilliers going a little wide, but able to maintain control. And now if Franzi's got the speed, it looks like he does coming up the straight. And is able to play it before we get to the corner and hold on to it all the way through. More excellent racing today from our PC racers. Yu now needing to play defense and hold Franzi at bay. Had to give up on his chase of Will Greeny for now. Again, we watched Jamie earlier, able to hold pace with Crow up front, still sitting in second, until an incident at the end of the straight pushed him off and spun him. As he goes deep into the bus stop, looking to get around Kevin Yu, unable to pull it off, however. The deep drive didn't help. But we're going to go side by side towards the source, with Cilliers still right there. Along with Wangle Snatcher now. And Will Greeny able to just run away as this pack tries to play defense on each other. So Jamie Franzi now able to get some clear air ahead of himself to try and catch Will Greeny, get back up into third. As we take a look back up front, Castro now running strong, 5.9 seconds ahead of Brian Canopin. Once he got clear, he simply opened it up. But the pack is back here. Excellent racing all around today. Very few incidents. And with 45 minutes left, let's take a quick look. There are your standings as of right now. Castro currently sitting number 1 after some great side-by-side racing with Brian Kapanen, who currently sits number 2 in that Lamborghini Huracan. Will Green in the Ferrari 488. And Jay Franzi along with R. Cilliers, both in Aston Martins. Kevin Yu, Wangle Snatcher both in Ferraris as well. A lot of Ferraris up front, but followed closely by 2 McLaren 720Ss of Jay Franzi and B. Hall, with Broken Clutch Motorsports now bringing up 10th position. Yu opting to quickly dive into the pits, giving Wangle Snatcher a little bit of space to operate, with Cilliers and Wangle Snatcher now splitting the Franzis. Blaine Hall now being chased down by Broken Clutch Motorsports. As we see Blaine's last lap, a 2:22.3. And if we take a look at our current leader, the last lap there, a 2:19.104 with 43.5 minutes left to go. Marcus Maniluk back out on track after what looked like a very difficult pit entry earlier. But again, Broken Clutch sticking to the back end of Mr. Blaine Hall in that number 47 McLaren. Franzi now back on the tail of Will Greeny. We will wait and see how long this battle plays out. But you know, again, I don't know the Franzis. There's 2 of them. Haven't seen them here before. But Jamie obviously pushing very hard, was holding Crow's pace, was looking to pull into second, had passed him on the Camel Straight, and then got bumped in an incident and lost position. Now able to get himself back up from about 7th into 4th and looking to take 3rd as quickly as possible. With still 42 minutes left in today's race, there's certainly enough time there for him to catch up and make his play on Crow again. Camelord and BB Stewart both into the pits at this time. Franzi right on his tail, up out of Radion across the straight, and again has the speed. How deep can he go? We've seen this move before, and is able to make the pass before the corner again, putting himself up into 3rd. But now has 16 seconds to make up, to catch up to Crow. As we take a look, Franzi's best at this point, or I'm sorry, last lap is a 2:19.9. Crow running a 2:19.3. So how much of that was being held up by other drivers versus how much is pure speed, and is he going to be able to make that up and catch him as quickly as possible during the course of the remaining 40.5 minutes? Cillier's now up on the back of Will Greeny. Side by side, pushing him out just a nudge. Cillier's able to take that spot before diving into the bus stop. Wangle Snatcher now with Juan Antonio Franzi behind him as we head uphill. Not quite able to pull the same speed up through there to be able to carry that up onto the straight. Kevin Huffman now, we're going to watch him again as he has Maniluk in front of him. Huffman pushing his Lexus to get alongside before the end of the straight. Not quite able to get there, but certainly had pace to get around him. Huffman now slipping back just a little bit. We take a jump up. Broken Clutch Motorsports in the back end of Blaine Hall. And into the dirt he goes. So as now things have spread out a bit, let's take a look down through, folks. Jay Castro, Juanma Castro, currently sitting in first. 6.8 seconds now over our second place driver, Brian Canopin. As we said, Jay Franzi into third after working his way back up, just trying to clear as many drivers as possible. 16.5 seconds back, but back into third after an incident earlier today. Will Greeny now in 4th, with Cilliers having gone into the pits. Will Greeny now moves up to 4th position in that number 13 Ferrari. Humphrey Wanglesnatcher, another Ferrari, number 71, currently sitting in 5th. As I said, Cilliers currently heading into the pits, right now in 6th, but that'll obviously change. Mr. Blaine Hall having gotten by, along with Broken Clutch Motorsports, as they head on to the Kemmel Straight. Jay Franzi now into the pits in 9th, along with Marcos Manilau. Kevin Huffman currently sitting in 11th, followed by Georgi Glazovsky in 12th. Red Rider, Caleb Stevens, now into the pits sitting in 13th. Kevin Yu, after a pit stop, sitting in 14th, followed by Camel Lord, Jay Malitti, who we saw struggle earlier, and it looks like is having some problems now getting back on track, and BB Stewart sitting in 17th. So we started with 18 and did lose a driver somewhere along the way, but again, things have relatively well spread out at this point. Wanglesnatcher trying to give some attention to Mr. Greeny. Wait, what? Oh, that's why. Hey, software's great. I love it. Yes, of course, they're only 0.2 seconds behind each other. They're in the pits. Could have told me that. Humphrey Wanglesnatcher again on the back end of Will Greeny at this point. And it only took almost half our race for things to calm down a little bit.
We are halfway through, not over yet.
And there is our halfway point, ladies and gentlemen. Wanglesnatcher trying to carry some speed out of the bus stop, headed towards La Source. Let's head across this merry-go-round one more time. This time, Wanglesnatcher with some speed up out of radio onto the straight. Able to carry it enough to get ahead of Will Greeny and take that position. Jay Castro now into the pits, sitting in 5th, leaving Crow as our current P1. Franzi in 2nd, now 17.8 seconds behind. And that move right there put Wanglesnatcher into 3rd, with Will Greeny right behind him and falling back quickly. Broken Clutch Motorsports now right on the tail end of Blaine Hall. Moons, the racing is awesome. The racing is always awesome. It's actually been a really good race today, man. Really, really good driving from these guys. Broken Clutch now dropping back just a bit. As we take a look back, though, coming out of the bus stop, Kevin Yu sticking to the back end of Cilliers. And Moons, it's me. It's all good. You know that. As our guys head down